Good morning, everyone. My name is Angela Stafford, and I will be presenting the occupational of a licensed marriage and family therapist today. Welcome to the world of psychology. Where to begin? I will be reviewing the educational requirements, how to locate a supervisor and site for the supervised experience, discussing the practice exam and process for applying to take the state and national exam, and what does a licensed marriage and family therapist do in practice. Bachelor's degree. Before starting on this journey, I asked the question, what has drawn me to the mental health field? I was drawn to this field out of curiosity. I have always loved meeting and talking with different people from various backgrounds, which led me to wanting to better understand why do people say, act, respond, or think the way that they do. Some of the bachelor's degrees that people can take while being on the track to become a licensed marriage and family therapy is a bachelor's degree in psychology, sociology, family studies, human development, counseling, or other related fields. What are some of the characteristics do I think could help in this field? Patience, emotional intelligence, compassion, cultural competence, nonverbal communication, competence, self awareness, effective time management, boundary settings, problem solving, organization, flexibility, critical thinking, empathy, sympathy, understanding, active listening, good ethics, and commitment to learning. Some of the jobs that you can get with a psychology degree are psychotherapist, school counselor, case manager, family support worker, behavioral analysis, teacher, law enforcement officer, victims advocate, or a rehabilitation counselor. Once you graduate with your bachelor's degree, you need to choose an MFT program and make sure that it is COAMFTE certified. What is COAMFTE? It stands for the Commission on Accreditation for Marriage and Family Therapy Education. It signifies that the school's marriage and family therapy program meets specific standards and prepares students for licensure and careers in the field. I have chose Amherst University since it is in the state that I reside in, which is Alabama. Once you know your program of interest is accredited, enroll and continue on your journey to becoming an LMFT. Before you begin your supervised experience with clients, you must first locate and apply with a board approved licensed marriage, family, and therapy supervisor. You can find a list of supervisors on the ABEMFT website, Psychology Today, LinkedIn, Google, social media, and word of mouth by asking around. Once they agree to be your supervisor, you can see if they have space at their practice for you to get adequate hours. Your school requires specific hours during your practicum, Clinical 1 and Clinical 2. The hours will include time with the supervisor one-on-one, supervised hours with a client, whether live or playback recording of a session, group supervision, and time with individual couples and families. As you start your practicum, if you attend Emory University, you will have to take the state licensure practice exam at least once per semester for the practicum, the clinical 1 and the clinical 2. Starting with the practicum, you will have to pass with a C or higher. For clinical 1, you will need to pass with a B or higher. And by clinical 2, you will need to pass with an A. The practice exam that you will have to pass is free and can be taken as much as possible during each semester. So it is great to take full advantage of that opportunity. Once you have completed your educational requirements and now have a bachelor's and master's degree, you can apply for your associate license or provisional licensure in order to continue seeing clients for post-educational experience, still under your supervisor. The application process will require several things to be turned in order to proceed to the next step. The instructions are found on the website of mft.alabama.gov. There is a $150 application review fee and a $200 initial fee for associate status. The process is tedious and will require specific things that if not completed correctly will not be approved. The exam will cover coursework on human development, marriage and family studies, marriage and family therapy, research, mental health diagnosis, and professional issues and ethics. Post-graduation supervised experience requirements. The state of Alabama requires 3,000 total hours of supervised clinical experience. If you attend Emory University, you will graduate with 500 of the hours completed already. With the remaining 2,500 hours, 2,300 needs to be direct client hours, with 250 hours being with couples and families, being physically present. The last 200 hours need to be supervision hours, with 100 hours being direct supervision one-on-one and another 100 client supervision hours watched live on a playback of the sessions with the clients. What is NEMFT and what is AMFTRB? NEMFT stands for National Exam for Marriage and Family Therapists. It is the state and national exam required for full licensure in the state of Alabama. What is AMFTBR? It stands for Association of Marital and Family Therapy Regulatory Boards. It is the board that oversees and administers the national exam. The instructions on the process to get scheduled to take the national exam can be found on amftrb.org. It is $370 to take the exam. Once passed and confirmed as a licensed marriage and family therapist, congratulations! Now we go into the life of an MFT. Why do people seek counseling? When they're getting married, for premarital counseling, going through a divorce and have to learn how to co-parent, for mental health disorders, doing domestic violence, conflict resolution, marital issues, lack of commitment for a couple, or family interference. What services do a LMFT provide? They provide individual therapy, couples therapy, family therapy, group therapy, workshops, advocacy, community outreach, and support. What happens in counseling sessions? For individual counseling, the individual and the therapist will meet, assess, build a rapport, explore, actively listen, reflect, set goals, develop and create treatment plans, exercise therapeutic techniques, do homework and evaluate progress or regression. Identifying, reframing, and healing. Identifying a problem, reframe negative thinking, and healing. What happens in counselor sessions with couples doing couple therapy? The therapist and the couple learn, understand, reflect, and identify problems ahead of time, current problems, create a safe space to be honest and open for each partner to share their version or their perceived notion of what is a problem or what could be a problem moving forward. Address relationship, intimacy, connection, and individual needs. Do homework and reevaluate. Question, inform, role play, reflect. What happens in counselor sessions during family therapy? They identify the problems, explore family dynamics, encourage open communications, identify strength and resources, develop strategies, provide education and support, identify, explore, encourage, and develop. What happens in counseling sessions? In group therapy, those in the group share and discuss feedback and support to each other, work on skill building techniques, problem solving techniques, learning from others, what they have done, what worked for them, what didn't work, icebreakers and activities to get everyone feeling comfortable and open, goal setting, homework, and reflect. Share, learn, critical thinking, and setting goals. Why are people getting divorced? Lack of commitment, infidelity, conflict and arguing, marrying too young, financial problems, lack of communication, miscommunication, misinterpretation, lack of intimacy, substance abuse, domestic violence, health problems, lack of help with family, religious differences, little to no premarital education, and no defined expectations. What modalities are used in sessions? Okay. First, we'll start with the Gottman method. This method focuses on managing conflict and fostering deeper emotional connections and intimacy using a structured, research-based approach. The goals of the Gottman method is increasing closeness and friendship behaviors, addressing conflict productively, and building a life of shared meaning together. Next, emotional focus therapy. This therapy focuses on understanding and transforming emotions and the underlying attachment needs that drive thoughts and behaviors, aiming to foster secure, Emotional connections in relationships. This focus leads the therapist and client toward strategies that promote awareness, acceptance, expression, utilization, regulation, and transformation of emotion, as well as corrective emotional experience with the therapist. The goals of EFT is to strengthen the self, regulate affect, and create new meanings. Next, CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. It focuses on identifying and changing negative and unhelpful thought patterns and behaviors that contribute to emotional distress or mental health challenges, teaching individual coping skills and strategies to manage difficult situations. The goals of CBT is to help individuals understand how their thoughts and behaviors influence their emotions and develop strategies to modify them. Next, we have CFBT, Solution Focused Brief Therapy. It focuses on identifying and building upon a client's strength and resources to create positive change, emphasizing solutions rather than dwelling on problems, and focusing on the present and future rather than the past. The goal of SFBT is to set goals and work out how to achieve them. It is about the future rather than past and promotes positive change by encouraging you to focus on what you can do rather than what you can't. Next, family systems therapy. It focuses on individuals who are best understood within the context of their family relationships, as family members are interconnected and their behaviors influence each other. While other types of therapy consider problems as originating with individuals, FST considers the entire family system. It focuses on relationships and roles within the family system influence individuals' emotional and behavior issues. Mindfulness based cognitive therapy, MBCT. It focuses on cultivating present moment awareness and non judgmental acceptance of thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations, aiming to enhance self awareness, emotional regulation, and reduce stress and anxiety. The goal of MBCT is to encourage individuals to pay attention to their experiences in the here and now without getting carried away by thoughts about the past or future. Lastly, narrative therapy. It focuses on a person's life story and how it shapes their identity, helping individuals reframe their experiences and create more empowering narrative. The goal of NT is to help individuals identify and challenge unhelpful or limited narrative to co-create new, more positive and meaningful stories and emphasize the power of these stories in shaping thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Problems versus possible solution. Some of the problems could be confusion, family dynamics. The solution would be to clarify gender roles and expectations. An example of gender roles or expectation are discussing who will do the cooking, cleaning, yard work, pay what bills, and ask if or will one parent stay home while the children are young. Another problem is unstable finances. The solution would be budgeting and financial planning. Another problem would be substance abuse. Substance abuse can be targeted with rehab, inpatient, and outpatient. A problem could be misinterpretations or miscommunication. In therapy, the family could work on communication skills. A problem would be a lack of emotional intelligence. The solution could be conflict resolution. Lack of intimacy, emotional and physical, could be a communication problem that could learning communication skills, learning about love maps and love languages in therapy could help. Role playing during therapy sessions is a safe space to allow the other partner to see how they are perceived by their partner without any judgment or retaliation. That will go under conflict resolution. The goal for the role playing is to share another's perspective to consider. For the lack of intimacy, whether it's emotional or physical, learning about love maps and love language could be very beneficial to the relationship. Love maps are the mental repository of information you have about your partner, their likes, their dislikes, their hopes, their fears, and all the details that make them who they are. Love languages are the different ways in which individuals express and receive love. The five love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Love maps benefit everyone because how can you teach somebody to love you if you don't know how to love yourself or how you would like to receive it or give it? Another problem is trust issues and infidelity. During session, the therapist could work on trust building strategies with the couple or families. How does a LMFT help society? Licensed marriage and family therapists contribute to society by addressing the following: addiction, drugs, and alcohol abuse, divorce and marital issues, chronic mental illnesses, parenting issues, eating and mood disorders, child and adolescent conditions and behavioral issues, domestic violence, advocating for change, coordinate programs, classes, events, and activities, identify environmental factors, and develop alliances with those working to make change. Ethical and legal consideration and principles. Some of the legal and ethical considerations are informed consent, documentation, confidentiality, malpractice, mandated reporter, digital mental health, treatment refusal, involuntary hospitalization, and treatment of minors. Informed consent is a process where the therapist provides the client with all necessary information about the therapy process, including treatment expectation, confidentiality, risks, benefits, and alternative, so the client can make an informed decision about participating in treatment. It is given during the first session. Documentation is vital for each session so that the therapist can track progress or regression, what has worked or what hasn't not worked, and because some insurance will require documentation for payments. The licensed marriage and family therapist will need malpractice insurance before seeing clients at all levels. While in school, doing the practicum, clinical 1 and clinical 2, after graduation as an associate marriage and family therapist, and once fully licensed as a licensed marriage and family therapist. Malpractice insurance provides coverage against liabilities. This specialized insurance allows therapists to concentrate on their role of helping people navigate through their mental health struggles with peace of mind, knowing they are protected should any legal issues arise. Confidentiality and mandated reporter go hand in hand. Confidentiality is only broken when necessary. Depending on what is said in a session, can require the therapist to make a report on any mention of suicide ideation, threatening to hurt someone else, or mention of child abuse or elder abuse, or in the case of being subpoenaed by the courts. All in all, the client has the right to withdraw from the therapeutic relationship at any time they don't feel it is working out for them. The therapist has the ethical obligation to refuse a client if they don't feel that they can provide adequate services or treatment to the client's needs, or it is outside of their expertise what the client needs. In that case, they can make referrals and have to follow protocol to stop seeing the client. Some of the legal and ethical principles for therapists are autonomy, beneficent, non-maleficent, justice, fidelity, veracity, and role of caring. Future outlook: technological advancements, telehealth and virtual care, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, mobile apps and digital therapeutics, gamification. During the COVID-19 pandemic, telehealth became very popular because of its convenience, accessibility, and safe way to get the help you needed while not having to go in person. It continues to evolve where different software has been invented or improved to ensure privacy. AI is assisting with therapy by providing tools for therapists to improve efficiency, analyze patient data, and offer accessible mental health support through chatbots and other platforms, while also exploring new therapeutic interventions. AI can automate tasks like note taking, documentation, and progress tracking, while also identifying patterns and themes, helping therapists understand their clients and adjusting interventions accordingly. What is gamification and how is it helping the therapist? Gamification involves incorporating game mechanics like points, badges, levels, challenges, and leaderboards into non-game environments to increase engagement and motivation. The goal is to make activities more engaging, fun, and rewarding while encouraging participation and promoting desired behaviors. Societal changes, increase awareness and demand, addressing systemic issues, adapting to evolving needs, and the future of mental health care. What are the increased awareness and demand for marriage and family therapists? There has been a recognition that seeking therapy is no longer a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of strength and courage. People are prioritizing their mental and emotional well being. During the pandemic in 2020, family dynamics and the overall well being of family relationships were tested, leading to a high influx of families seeking therapy. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, projects a 16% growth in employment for marriage and family therapy therapists between 2023 and 2033. About 7,500 openings for marriage and family therapists are projected each year on average over the next decade. The average salary for a licensed marriage and family therapist in Alabama is 42,172, ranging from 36,812 to 47,986. The highest salary for a MFT is $92,120 in New Jersey. The lowest salary for an MFT is $41,600 in Arkansas. In 2023, the median average wage for marriage and family therapists were $58,510. This is the conclusion of my PowerPoint presentation on the occupation of marriage and family therapy. I have enjoyed working alongside everyone and want to wish everyone much success on their educational journey. Goodbye.